everybody is pissed about the robot umpires. Just kidding. Very few people are pissed about the robot umpires. I would say the robot umpires, definitely biggest story of the week. And I would say an overwhelming success, 90% positive.
I think the fans were happier about the robot umpires in the games.
Happier?
I didn't hear the crowd louder than when there were challenges.
Yeah, it is the most exciting thing happening in baseball is when a call gets overturned in favor of a team now is more exciting than a home run or a robbed home run or a diving catch. Everybody loves it except the umpires themselves, actually. Umpires got to be on suicide watch now because they are just getting embarrassed in front of 40,000 people into the stadium and then millions across the world every time they make a bad call. You got to feel bad for them a little bit.
On the clips that I've seen, it feels like these catchers know what they're talking about. It feels like they see.
The catchers are the good. I mean, they have the stats. Mitchell, you got the stats, right, about like the overturn rate now so far?
Catchers are the best at challenging in baseball. I think they have like a 60% success rate where batters only had a 42% success rate.
Yeah, so Jack is onto something. So even Jack saw the robot umpires.
Yeah, the clips are making it to my algorithm. That's big news.
It's getting serious, man. So ABS, they're calling it, automatic ball strike. Is that what it stands for?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that yesterday. Is it automatic ball system or automatic ball strike? I feel like it should be ABSS, automatic ball strike system.
When I say ABS system, it sounds like I'm being repetitive on the S, but I'm not.
You're not, but it's ABS, automatic ball strike. It's officially an MLB. The first game of the season, we didn't even get to see it. It was baseball history because Netflix wanted to interview the manager during the game. So we missed the first ABS challenge. We don't even know what it looked like. We don't know what the ball were, where the ball was. We don't even know who did it, maybe. Well, it was Jose Caballero, I believe. So first ABS, we don't see it because of Netflix. I personally didn't watch the first game of the season because why would I? It's not like it's my fucking job or anything. But I don't have Netflix, so I couldn't watch it. And I was doing stand-up, which is more important than opening day. Also, opening night, that was controversial. Do you support an opening night?
I hated how many games were not being played yesterday. And part of that was there being a game on Wednesday, just a singular game that no one watched because I also don't have Netflix. I didn't want to pay $20 a month to watch the Yankees and Giants?
Yeah, I mean, opening night, I didn't have too much juice on it. And everyone was just kind of, I feel like it wasn't a big hit. Too much hoopla going around Netflix, but we can't speak about that because we didn't even watch it. I mean, imagine tuning into a baseball podcast. These baseball extras, they're going to tell me about baseball, and they're like, we didn't even watch the first game. Why would you watch that?
Because we didn't want to pay for Netflix.
We're losers, bro. We're losers. So anyway, first one, we don't even get to see it. That's unfortunate, but like we went through the system last time, but we'll do it again. 12 high-powered cameras set up across the stadium that all work in conjunction. So they triangulate this footage by pairing each camera's unique angle together, determines when the ball crosses the plate. And the strike zone now, they can determine with a margin of error the width of a pencil. So that's how accurate this shit is, but it could come down to it. So they're seeing these, I guess maybe the biggest criticism is like when a ball is literally this close from off the plate and then it gets reversed and people are like, well, this is bullshit. That's basically a strike, you know what I'm saying? And that's true with any replay system. There's going to be knick-knacking things. Jarren Duran got walked on a pitch that was 0.1 inches out of the zone. 1/10 of an inch out of the zone he walked on because of the ABS. You'll be seeing some fucking nasty pitches too. Who was this guy? The Mariners guy threw a pitch that was literally unhittable. And I would say that this pitch would not be called a strike in baseball ever if it wasn't for a robot. So there are going to be calls that are robot calls that you would never see a human make, that a robot is going to make, and the robot is technically correct. So robots rule the world. They will soon. If a player doesn't like a call, he can challenge. So that's how it works, you know. Umpire calls all the pitches, ball or strike. If a player disagrees, he can challenge. Only a pitcher, catcher, and hitter can challenge. So this is interesting. Managers, coaches cannot challenge. This means they cannot tell a player to challenge. So a player is not allowed to get help from another person to challenge. Meaning, in order to avoid people cheating and someone telling them to challenge, they have 2 seconds to challenge. I guess, I don't know if that's officially the rule. They're saying about 2 seconds. It needs to be immediate. If you waste a couple seconds and then challenge, you think about it, does not help. So they can veto a challenge if it takes so long. Has to be instantaneous. Matt Olson was denied a challenge because he took too long on Friday. And if you watch this, you can get a good idea of like how quick it needs to be. I would say this is going to be the biggest gray area because, I mean, Matt Olson, pretty quick here. And according to the umpire, that is too long.
Yeah, I don't. It's such a gray area. MLB itself says it's about 2 seconds or roughly within 2 seconds. And I think Olsen, he pauses for a split second and then he goes straight to the helmet. He would have lost the challenge anyway. So probably good for the Braves that he didn't get to challenge. But I don't know if there needs to be more precise language or not. Well, you're going to get to another one in a second, but it just seems kind of arbitrary.
It is very arbitrary. I mean, I guess you could put up a timer, but it also becomes a thing where the umpire can call a strike. They don't have a time limit. Like an umpire sometimes they'll wait like a second, 2 seconds to make the call. I think that's what happened with Matt here. If you look at the umpire, I don't know what he said verbally, but it took him a second to call the strike. So Matt kind of thought it was going to be a ball at first and then realized it was a strike. So then he, what? That was a ball? But not a lot of time to make the call. This guy, Ryan Helsley, in the Orioles-Twins game, walks a guy, calls a challenge, but then the ump doesn't see it. So you can't really tell for sure if it was a hesitation. He didn't want to challenge, and then he was thinking about it, or he did challenge eventually. Ump didn't see it, so he challenged again. So, you know, it took him like 2 or 3 seconds to challenge, but the umpire did deem it was quick enough. So it went from a walk to a strikeout. The Twins manager freaks out, curses out the umpires, gets thrown out of the game. This is the first robot umpire ejection, to my knowledge, in MLB of all time, based on this rule where, you know, you got to do it immediately. And if a guy doesn't do it immediately, it doesn't count. Pretty gray area there. I don't know. I think in this case, my man, who is it, Sonny Gray? No, Ryan Helsley, I'm sorry. He like taps his head but doesn't make it clear enough. So then he taps it again. If you count the first tap, definitely quick enough. If you don't count the first tap, not quick enough. Umpire counts the first tap. So it's going to be controversial. I can see this really coming up big in big time games where it's like, what? That took 3 seconds. No, that was 2 seconds.
That was 2.3 seconds.
Yeah, but
You
I feel like if
allowed to get that.
as long as the guy, it's clear that the guy is not getting an outwardly opinion from someone, then you should be good to go. I mean, 4 or 5 seconds is pushing it, but unless a guy is like getting advice from the manager, a teammate or something, you kind of got to let him rock, man.
You also have like these cases where the batter starts walking to first because he's like confident it's ball 4, and then the umpire calls it a strike late, and he's already like halfway to first, and then he's got to turn around and challenge it, and it's technically already been 2 seconds since the pitch, but it's clear he thought it was a ball, and he was going to challenge it anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if they're going to need to make a what is it? How do you like you when you make an amendment, but a memorandum? You know what I'm saying?
Are you having a
I
stroke?
don't know.
If you got to adjust a rule or something.
I mean, amendment, I think, makes
Amendment
sense.
works, but there's a different word that I'm not going to try to say it again because people are going to make fun of me. But, you know, we're all trying here our best.
You already said room for error
When did I say that?
earlier.
At the very
Room
beginning.
for error.
I got an accent, bro. I'm from Northern Virginia
That
accent.
Arlington accent.
Yeah. Era.
I was about to do that.
Okay, so that's all good and dandy. So when you challenge a call, the pitch is shown on the Jumbotron. Everyone can see if it's a ball or strike or not. So the call is either confirmed or reversed based on the robot on this big screen. And this is creating some hype moments so far. So Eugenio Suarez is up with the bases loaded, 2 outs, 1-2 count, strikes out looking. All right, so every year any other year in baseball history, he just struck out, innings over, okay? Not this year. He taps his helmet. It gets challenged. Call is overturned. Crowd goes insane for this biggest moment of the game, according to the announcers. Now, I didn't watch the full game, obviously, but they were saying in the broadcast, they hit like 3 home runs that game, and the overturned call got the biggest reaction of anything. So the umpire was wrong by 0.3 inches. Call comes back. Very next pitch, he strikes out looking again, challenges again. Once again, call gets overturned. Crowd goes even crazier. So this is already creating some sick moments because it is really an entertaining thing. I mean, everyone's on the edge of their seat for like 10 seconds to see if this shit's going to get overturned or not. It can be a massive turning point in the game. Eugenio Suarez ends up getting out anyway, but this becomes a big hoopla because the man in charge of this call is none other than the, why am I blank? Oh, CB Buckner, who... we're going to be seeing this, man. Angel Hernandez is out of the league, so there is a void of who's going to be the next Angel Hernandez. It was Joe West, I guess the most hated umpire. And then it was Angel Hernandez was the most hated umpire. They're both out of the league. So now there's this void, a vacuum of who is going to be the most hated fucking umpire ever, who we can just put all our energy and animosity towards them and make them pay for it. It looks like it could be CB Buckner, but this system puts a massive target on people's back. And I'm telling you right now, there's going to be an umpire who's going to, within the next 6 months, who's going to become the face of being a bad umpire. And this system is going to make it 10 times worse because their mistakes are literally broadcasted on the big screen, Jumbotron, in front of everybody. And there's no limit to how many calls you can get wrong. I mean, if you have a bad day, like last year, if you missed 12 calls in a game, people could forget. We won't even notice, really. But if you miss 12 calls in a game and it just so happens that they overturn every single call and 12 different times they put it on the Jumbotron that you got this call wrong, I mean, that's going viral. Everyone in the crowd by the 12th one is booing your ass. Jeter and yawn. Like the target on umpires' backs is bigger than ever. So CB Buckner, he messes up these calls. Then later in the game, Trevor Story gets called out on a check swing with the tying run on second. He loses his shit on CB. Manager Alex Cora starts arguing he gets ejected on this bad call. So they freak out on CB Buckner, who right now is probably the leading candidate for this new title of worst umpire in the league. Now, I'm not saying he's the worst umpire in the league. I'm just saying the perception of it. And after the game, Cora says, quote, "It wasn't his best day. That's what the system does. It's out there. Everybody sees it. So like I said, motherfuckers are going to get exposed." CB Buckner had 3 pitches overturned in the first inning of a spring training game. So this is the second time already with this system that he's been put on blast for it. In his first game with ABS on Saturday, this is the game we're talking about, got 6 calls overturned. So this is what everyone was making a big deal of. He got 6 calls overturned. 8 challenges, 2 of them were wrong. He got 6 overturned. And then last year, he was the worst ump by consistency, average consistency, and 3rd worst qualified ump by accuracy. That's according to Ump Scorecard. So like I said, CB Buckner, he might fall victim to the system worse than anyone.
Do you think he's going to Angel Hernandez it mid-season? Go, you know what? Not worth the criticism. I've been in this league for 30 plus years. I should just pack it in and
I don't know. I mean, CB Buckner gets a little bit of hate, has been getting a little bit of hate over the few years because he doesn't rank well if you're really paying attention. But Angel Hernandez he put up for it for about a decade, I'd say. A good, healthy, decade-long run as the most hated umpire ever. So Buckner's got some time left to get to that. But another umpire, Chad Winston, had 7 calls overturned, all 7 for 7. They challenged 7 of his calls and 7 were overturned. So he wasn't even the worst umpire so far, CB. 7 calls overturned. So we're going to be able to track this. Like some guy will definitely have like 15 calls overturned eventually. And he will forever be known, or she will forever. What's so funny? There's a girl umpire now. Imagine, bro, if poor Jen Powell gets 13, 14, 15 calls overturned. Can you imagine Twitter that day?
might be the most liked post.
I mean, the Instagram going on. Libs of TikTok's going to get in on it. Like, it's going to be crazy. That will break baseball containment times 10, dude.
It would get like 5 times the engagement it would if CB Buckner missed 20 calls in a game.
If it's the girl umpire, no way. Hope it doesn't happen. but it's going to happen to somebody. This one pitch was 2.6 inches off the plate, and it was called a strike. So that's another thing. Like they're all measuring how wrong they are too. Like someone's going to get a 5-inch pitch, bad call, 5 inches off the plate and called a strike, and it's going to be put on the Jumbotron. 13 billion impressions. Sorry, now your family's getting death threats because you missed one bad call.
The worst pitch this weekend was like 3.6 inches off the plate, and the graphic didn't even show how far it was off the plate. It was so bad.
Damn. So I guess the one I saw was 2.6. I guess maybe that's why they didn't come up on the Baseball Savant, because it was so bad. Former umpire Richie Garcia said, quote, "I think it's embarrassing to the umpires that are calling the game. No one likes to be humiliated in front of 30 to 40,000 people." That's right. I mean, we saw this spring training, like I said, bringing up Jen Powell again, the female umpire. She got a call wrong. Stephen Kwan challenges it. It is right down the middle, basically, right down the middle. Don't want to be that person making the bad call. It can also be embarrassing for batters, too, because this was a situation that happened in the Twins game. Matt Wallner's up with the bases loaded, tie game, 2 outs, strikes out looking, and he challenges the call, goes on the Jumbotron. The ball is very clearly in the zone. So not only do you strike out with the bases loaded, that's embarrassing. You claim that it's a ball, or at least there's a chance it's a ball. They put it on the Jumbotron and said, "Brother, that is nowhere close. What are you looking at? Why aren't you swinging anything close, Mitchell? 2 strikes, anything close. We know this. You got to put the ball in play." Matt Wallner did not, and gets the double embarrassment with that call. And that ends up screwing the Twins. So the Twins, that was the Twins' last challenge. So the Twins don't have any more challenges left. This is a tie game. Next inning, Gunnar Henderson comes up. He gets walked on a pitch that is in the zone. Twins want a challenge. They can't challenge. So, call stands. So instead of a 3-2 count, now there's runners on first and second. Orioles score 3 runs and take the lead that inning. If Wallner doesn't challenge that call earlier, who knows? Maybe that doesn't happen. So there's strategy to this. You don't want to blow all your challenges in the wrong game. We talked about this last episode, but each team gets 2 challenges. If you get a call reversed, you keep the challenge, obviously. And if you go in the extras, you get more challenges. But you get 2 challenges. The Braves ran out of challenges in the first batter of the game. Their first batter of the game. So the Braves, they just blew it on Saturday. First batter, Ronaldo Lopez pitches the first inning, loses a challenge in the first. Then Acuna comes up, first batter of the game for them, challenges the second pitch, he loses it. So in the first inning, during their first batter of the game, they're out of challenges. Teams want to avoid that. That's why you had the Brewers come out and started to try to fucking cheat. Brewers had a system where they had red cards and green cards, and if the analytics people deemed that it was an acceptable time to challenge, if it's a close game, you want to challenge. If it's a blowout, you probably don't want to challenge. If in the first inning, you probably don't want to challenge because there's more high leverage situations later. So they would put up a green card if it was okay for a batter to challenge, and a red card if it wasn't okay to challenge. But that is illegal, Mitchell. You think that should be legal or illegal?
I think the red and green cards, I'm fine with that. They're not telling the batter to challenge a particular pitch. They're telling them the situational awareness. It's like a coach giving a player a sign, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I was going to say it's like when, if you watch football games, like college football games, they have the big signs up with the plays, but it's not really like that. Mitchell definitely doesn't watch college football.
I don't.
Do your research, bro. Either way, so that is that, and this is this. So in order to get the strikes on MLB, had to get the exact measurement of every single player. So this is insane. Out of 430 hitters on opening day rosters, 225 of these hitters were shorter than they were last year. So literally more than half of MLB was lying about their height. Pretty embarrassing. Because me, I'm 5'11", and I don't lie about my height. 5'11". I'm not a 6-footer.
You're not like
But I am
Mickey Rojas?
Listen, I might be 6 foot, but fucking I go to the doctor last week. They asked me what my height is. They don't measure me.
That's
So,
where you're supposed to get the measurements.
I know,
to be
right?
like, oh, I'm 5'8" or whatever.
I'm not going to name names.
They do the same thing at the DMV. You can just tell them what to put on your license. It doesn't make any sense.
It's true. I mean, but that's acceptable. They're DMV. They're not the medical science people.
Yeah, but what if you were a criminal and they were trying to track you down? And then medical stuff, it barely matters too because your height's not really as relevant as your weight.
Says who?
It says medicine.
Okay. Well, then if you know so much about medicine, how tall am I?
To me, 6'1",
Yeah.
at least.
I've been told I'm 6'1".
6'1" with that coat on.
I asked someone how tall they thought I was. They said 5'8". I mean,
Yeah.
I just come off as a short guy. I don't
People
know.
always tell me they think I'm shorter than I am.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I got no aura.
Are they measuring the players with cleats on or no?
No cleats on. That's another good
Doesn't
point.
it seem a little flawed though if you want the precise measurement when they're in the box?
Right, that's what's relevant.
It's true. It's
Also,
true.
like your batting position, like your squat. Like I feel like all that stuff's relevant.
I guess the batting position is not important anymore.
Yeah, because the whole deal with Juan Soto drawing as many walks as he does is his natural batting stance is pretty squatted down.
Because the rule was, I mean, the official strike zone was like, your letters to your knees when you're in the position to hit. So like your stance would dictate it. And technically speaking, if you get on your ass and make the smallest strike zone possible, you will have a smaller strike zone. I guess that's not the case anymore. It's literally just you standing straight up 52% or 54% of your height from whatever, and then 27% from your height in terms of, I know that didn't make any sense to anyone listening, but you know what I'm saying. But let's embarrass some guys. Bryson Stott was 6'3" last year. Now he's 6 foot. Tough. Gavin Lux, 6'2" to 5'11". That's pretty embarrassing. I mean, if you go from 6'3" to 6 feet, okay, you're still 6, but if you're 5'11", you can't say you're 6'2". I mean, that is insane.
I thought you were gonna say people are going from like 6 foot to 5'11", but going more than 3 inches is nuts.
Oh, we haven't even got to the best one yet.
Bo Naylor told everyone he's 6 feet. He's 5'9", man. That's tough. And then Shohei Ohtani, he was 6'3". Last year, they switched him to 6'4". Now he's back to 6'3". But yeah, Gavin Lux, bro. Fuck, 6'2"?
I think the 5'9" is more egregious. Like, I can't imagine trying to convince people that I was nearly 6 feet tall.
Yeah, well, I'm 6 feet and someone said I was 5'8". So it could happen.
They gotta be cooking him in the dugout, right?
Yeah.
They gotta be.
Yeah.
There was this Padres player, I think like Johnston. He's an outfielder. And before the measurements, he was like, yeah, I'm 6 feet. And Jackson Merrill was like, dude, there's no way you're 6 feet. And he's like, yeah, I'm 6 feet. Measurements came out, he was 5'11".
Johnson lying about his height. Sorry to Johnson. Who the fuck is Johnson? Mitchell's like, this is his player. And
Bryce Johnson.
Bryce
Johnson.
Johnson.
He's an outfielder.
All right. He's a short guy.
Officially now.
Get your height up. You got to get taller. You ever see that video of that guy, the Asian dude who like hangs out outside the gas station on Instagram? And he's got the aura. And he just walks back and forth. And that guy interviews him. And he's like, bro, I heard you told someone to get taller. He's like, yeah, I told him he need to get taller. So but he's working on it. If anyone's seen that, they know that I'm fucking with they're fucking with that heavy because it's good advice. I think you got to get taller. We all got to get taller. Except Aaron Judge, he's too fucking tall. He challenged the pitch, got it overturned, hit a homer a few pitches later. That was beast. Judge is probably one of the guys who's probably most likely to benefit from this because he constantly is getting shit called at his knees, below his knees, because he's so damn tall. Tall drinks of water usually get screwed on the low pitch. So could be a big year for Judge. I'm predicting a big year for Judge. I think Aaron Judge is going to hit a lot of home runs this year.
That's a bold take.
I'm not afraid to say it. This is another thing. It's rare, but sometimes the ABS glitches and doesn't work. So there's like a 1 in 88,000 chance that the ABS won't pick up and someone challenges and it doesn't come up on the screen. In spring training, that actually happened. Presented by T-Mobile. Screwed up and the system did not work. Imagine that happening in the biggest game of the year. Sorry. Robot took that pitch off. What are you going to do? So that wraps it up for ABS. Crazy ABS day. Do you have a favorite ABS moment so far, Mitchell?
I think Eugenio Suarez's second challenge.
It was fire.
The crowd on the first one, nice. But the crowd on the second sounded like a walk-off homer. And it was for a challenge pitch that Wasn't even the end of the at bat.
And that made the signing worth it. Eugenio Suarez is back in Cincinnati. Hit a home run.
Yeah.
Hit a home run. And
But the
reverse
best moment, second challenge.
2 reverses. Yeah, I think the Reds are undefeated on challenges so far this year.
I just saw that they're 6-0 on challenges.
Yeah, that's going to be another interesting stat to track. Who's the best challenger?
How do you feel about there only being 2 challenges per game? Like if you lose the 2, you're out.
I think it's fine. I do think that it would get obsessed. Like if you have too many challenges, it will get annoying. If you can challenge every call, because a lot of these calls are like, dude, I'm sorry, but if it's a 0.1 off the plate, it could go either way. Like you can abuse that too much. You know, I don't want a full robot umpire.
Do they have room to alter any of these rules during season?
Oh
Or-
yeah. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, you can. They don't have to get it approved with the Players Association. They've changed rules halfway. They adjust them. They did that with the pitch clock. They had a lot of little like tweaks about like where your eyes have to be and what little small stuff. I could see them doing that with the 2-second rule.
I also think one move that they might try to make is that in the 9th inning you get one if you don't have one.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
I agree, like when you have 3 challenges to begin the game, you'd just be spamming the challenges, because if you win them, you could have like 9 challenges.
But if you win them, it's like, are you even challenging, or you're just like checking the ump? Like you fucked up, not them.
It is true.
How many challenges do you think they should get, Mitch?
I think 2 is fine through the first 8, but I think you do want that critical challenge in the 9th. But then I guess the argument is, if you want it in the 9th inning, you should just save it for the 9th inning.
Well, it becomes like a tactic if you're playing the game of like having 2 and you got to be right, because then you can save one till the 9th, and then that just becomes like an element of the game instead of like.
Well, what
a
do you
rule
think then,
thing.
Jack? How many do you think you want?
I was trying to decide if it's like is one per inning. Does that make sense?
Oh, 1 per
But that
inning
seems
is
like a
way
lot.
too much.
That's way too much. Yeah. Anything close.
Although 1 per inning, and that's all you get. You don't get to save it if you win the challenge. That could be interesting. Because right now you get 2 challenges, and if you win the challenge, you keep it. But if you lose it, then you lose the challenge. But if you just have 1 from the start, like Eugenio Suarez wouldn't get that second challenge after he won the first one.
Is that the NFL works? If you challenge a play and you're right, it's not a timeout. But if you're wrong, it is.
Yeah. Or do you lose a timeout?
I think you lose a timeout if you're wrong. Anyway,
NFL doesn't exist. Coming in August. So that was a good first week for the ABS. MLB is getting their flowers again. The rule changes are all working out. Let's just change the rule. Let's just make a new sport. Every time there's a rule change, everybody loves it.